you've flipped the script as if a switch was flipped. Something changed and it shifted people's view of you. People will be correcting their opinion or perspective about you. People will be more in favor of you. People that were once against you see things your way, and people that might not have been interested or people that might not have even glanced in your direction are now unable to look away. Your magnetism has shifted. This is your highest timeline shift to date. Symbols that you could be seeing might resonate and align with things such as, but not limited to, bees, sharks, ants, bugs in general, nature and science, cool but maybe gross discoveries and happenings, stars, and specifically signs from people. If this is for you, no explanation needed on how people are your sign. And also, symbols, signs, synchronicities could also be compliments from unexpected people, places, things. There's this energy of a newfound respect. So in today's pick a card, we're going to be diving into why people see you suddenly shining brighter. And you might be asking, why has this occurred? Because you've healed, using things to your advantage, seeing the brighter side, affirmations, taking in more health and wealth, food, content, sun, water, vitamins, etc. And above all, you've learned to surrender. This is a reading to spotlight your self-image and its transformation. I said that a little funny. So let's go ahead and get into it. Why do people suddenly see you, group number one, as shining brighter? What newfound respect do they have regarding you? What have they realized? There is a softness, a kindness, a sense of elegance and grace. You may have completely changed your opinion about something. You may have been represented one way and had to come back and make a new statement or state a new claim or take a new stance or talk about how you were wrong or talk about how you needed more information. People are suddenly seeing you shine brighter because you're not afraid to turn back around to correct any mistakes. There's no shame And there's a comfortability with flaws and the sense of a lack of perfection. There's a shamelessness, a confidence, and a sense of security that radiates off of you. And there's a lot of intellectual power that is stewing within this reading, where people are suddenly seeing you shine brighter because they see you as being sharp witted or of the top percentile, one of the greats, one of the chosen ones, one who can transform, bend, or change time, concepts, thought processes, and thus reality. There's an acceptance and realization of how powerful and impactful your word, your essence, your perspective is. There's underlining and highlighting in this group of a newfound respect, especially for what you stand for or what you value, what you like, what you dislike, and your way of communicating and or representing these things that I just listed, but not limited to those things either. There's heavy emphasis on this group here being an inspiration, and this is part of the spark, part of the aha moment where people have suddenly realized something about you, and it's about how innovative, sparky, spunky, and different, unique, and irreplicable you are, unable to be replicated, one of a kind, a sort of generator or a sort of source. Usually, people can only do what you do or say what you say or go where you go or think what you think if it's coming from a higher place, a higher plane, a higher power, a higher frequency, a high place, a high space. The higher mind, the higher self. People see you shining brighter because they quite literally see you as higher up in a hierarchy, one to be respected. There's levels to this shiz, and you're nowhere near level 1. You're much higher than the mountains reach, spiritually speaking. And for a lot of you, this shows up politically. So this could be also referring to your speech. You could be quite often politically correct or not. Either way, it's still transformative communication that's being highlighted here. What's making you a spectacle? What's got people wanting to pick your mind, pick you, just to pick your brain? There's this concept of alien-esque type of energy here. Either you are talking about aliens or you yourself have an alien-like or foreign mentality, concept, belief, or conspiracy or theory that you stand within. Or this is even referring to your own rule book, what you hold yourself accountable for, the things that you consider your morals, your moral compass, the way that you walk, talk, speak, think, act, and do. It shows that you come from an independent space and a free thinking space as well. Like, you don't do what's expected of you. You're not worried about expectations. You want to do what you want to do, which is most often outside of the norm. But that's okay too. There's major emphasis on the softness in which this sharpness is delivered with, a perfect balance, a perfect flow to allow for perfect and or complete understanding or landing of concepts. There's this emphasis on your clarity in everything that you do, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you talk to others. You're also seen as suddenly shining brighter because you could be seeming less youthful in the sense of your mind. Like, your thoughts seem to be maturing, elevating, which lets us know that you're not afraid to test certain concepts and beliefs, because that's the only way you can grow, the only way you can mature. Respect is coming back. That concept, that word, I just can't let it go here. Above all, people see you suddenly shining brighter than ever before because of the respect that your presence demands. It's the way that you carry yourself, the way that you dress yourself, the way that you present yourself, the way that you represent others, the way that you work with others, the way that you talk to others. But you're most definitely represented as one of a kind. Like, I keep being brought to like a Bible or a thick book or a grimoire that's meant to lead and guide you through life, and it's like you wrote your own. It's got a sage and mystic vibe about it. So much so that people don't even consider the spiritual side of life would still dive into this idea that you are some sort of spiritual phenomenon. And that is why you are suddenly seen as shining so much brighter than usual. Group number one. Things such as political leaders and presidents, and I'm giggling because I feel like the people that chose this group, they're like, yeah, absolutely not. But then some of you, it's like, I think that some of you are like, absolutely not, I could never be in that kind of position. But I think even those of you that reject it, you do see the validity, though. You do see how you could be a great figure, a great public figure of some sort, even if it's not part of your personal desires. I think that you are opening your mind to expanding and accepting the fact that you could take on such a role with grace, with elegance, and be someone to look up to in a positive light. It's giving very much presidential, diplomatic. I know how to talk, I know how to walk, I know how to carry myself, and I am definitely media trained naturally. You would also make for a great publicist, or someone that's in charge of PR, advertisement, and marketing, in the way that people, places, and things are represented and seen. Because my, oh my, you have nailed image, my friend. You've nailed image. Okay, you know how to create it, you know how to be it, you know how to think it, because you are it. You represent the type of authenticity that you simply cannot buy. If you want a more personalized reading, that'll be the very first link in the description box down below. Head on over to my website to make that happen. If you're interested in content that you won't catch here on the main channel, join us over on Patreon, where we also have an extra special pick a card presented every single week. And this week's is all about, why do they want to give you your way? Why do they spoil you? Why do people provide for you? What is it about you? We're tapping into that over on Patreon. If you're interested, second link in the description box. I'll see you there. If you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a P.O. box as well as a virtual tip jar, and I thank you in advance. To support the channel for free skis, give this video a thumbs up, leave love in the comment section down below, share this video with a friend, hit the subscribe button as well as a bell to be notified when I pull up with new content just like this, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Group number 2. Don't be afraid to take up space. And we're going to dive into your reading to find out today why people see you suddenly shining brighter. Why do people see you suddenly shining brighter? Group number 2. It's your ability to push through. This group here, you may have had or you may have some nervous tics and or tendencies or some sort of toxic or negative or downward spiral sort of thought processes, but I'm seeing here your coping mechanisms and or your methods of healing are truly working out and doing you many, 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 many favors. There's reference to your ability to rise above, and I'm seeing that in ways where you may have been in toxic competitions, where you felt like you had to compete for a top spot. For some of you, this is within your own family dynamic. For others, it's in the workplace, in the workspace. For others of you, it's wherever it may be. But you've had to rise above. And then I'm also being brought to those of you that may have just simply struggled with this in a not so simple way, emotionally speaking, and just finally coming up to the surface to get some air. But it's still dark and stormy, and treacherous waves just are almost trying to take you under, but you're fighting it. You are working with the current so that it can work for you. So, in the places and the spaces that you were sensitive or overwhelmed, you're shining brighter because you seem to have some sort of reins over the situation or some sort of control or insight, at least, to what is going on. It's almost as if something was just going haywire, couldn't figure it out, just doing your best. But there seems to be some sort of information or intel or knowledge or wisdom that you've gathered from the situation or scenario to understand the process of triggers, to know when something could be coming on, recognizing signs, symbols, synchronicities, positive and or negative, so that you can use that to your advantage and realize when something is about to trigger you and what you can do to prevent it so that you can keep a sense of balance. This group here, you're wisening up, sharpening your knife, and ready for battle. There's this vibe here that my group number 2s were either believed to be or were actually incapable of self preservation, self protection, self actualization, self everything. But you've really grown into yourself, blossomed, bloomed into yourself and the essence of you. You've really paved your own path. And this is why you're shining so brightly suddenly, is because I'm specifically picking up on people that may have boxed you in or grouped you into a particular likeness to others. Like, oh, all these types of people are like this. Well, you are the outlier because you may be like this, but you're also the complete opposite, or you're also this too. It's not just the box in which they tried to place you in. You have a multidimensionality to you that forces people to zoom out because you are grounded. And I'm being shown the concept of something zooming out from space. Like you are looking at a small ant or a particle or something, and you just zoom out until you can't see it anymore, and then you see the habitat in which it's in, you see the woods, you see the state, you see the country, you see the globe. You just keep zooming out, zooming out, zooming out. You've got a way of making something that once seemed so big small. You've got a way of grounding people, situations, scenarios. You've also got a really great way of expressing or explaining things. This group here, you could be great teachers. This is where you are also suddenly being seen shining the brightest. You give instruction and or direction really well because you follow it well. You also are leaning into the importance and the beauty of discipline. And this is also something that has you shining even brighter. You are living, breathing proof that pushing through, perseverance will get you far. I feel like you may have also been perceived as an underdog in some way, shape, or form. Um, but you've overcome those accusations, if you will, by being more relevant or being more on the mainstream or being more at the forefront, being more relevant than what we at least thought. And by we, I just simply mean those that were the onlookers and judging the situation as if you were incapable of being at the forefront, let alone being the leader and the first one to step through a threshold. There's some sort of emphasis here on law, LAW, law. Spiritual law, enforcements and rules, regulations, and things that are just bound to happen over time. You've got people respecting the concept of time, patience, discipline, growth, gratitude, the things that ground you in the moment and can put you into those meditative states where you're zooming out from the ant to the habitat, to the state, to the country, to the planet, to the galaxy. Zooming out in that meditative state to realize that the things that seem so big don't even matter at all. This group here, meditation, reflection, and pulling yourself out of some deep, dark waters, cleaning yourself off, making yourself new again. This is you. This is your story. This is why you're suddenly shining so much brighter. Because whether people know your story or not, all they see is that you look damn good and you look strong and you look healthy and you look like you know what you're talking about. You've also stopped allowing your emotions to rule you, and that has a major effect on a lot of what's got you suddenly shining brighter. I feel like before you may have been mood ruled. Now I think you're more so in that mentality of stick to the plan. No matter your mood, stick to the plan. There's also a well controlled, well balanced, and well tempered aspect to you. Just very beautiful. Symphonic? Is that the word that I'm looking for? Like a symphony, like a harmony. I just noticed that both of your cards, the rabbit and the starfish, they both have the word sensitivity. You're using your sensitivities to your advantage. It's like you've discovered a way to turn your weaknesses into their own strengths. And I keep getting here that you are living, breathing proof that it works. And it only gets proven more and more with time. There could be some sort of program that you joined or some sort of religion or some sort of spiritual group or some sort of startup company. You could have moved somewhere. You could have started taking a supplement. Whatever it is, you've been an advocate for it just simply by existing. Whatever it is that people know about, or whatever it is, for some of you, you're just standing for perseverance, but clearly it works for you. There's something here saying that whatever you stand for, whatever you get behind, or whatever it is that you say works for you, people believe it wholeheartedly because they can see it with their own eyes, or they can observe it, feel it, hear it, smell it. It's on you, it's in you, the change is there. It's very obvious. There's another message saying that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And also this spectrum of things that seem small that are actually big or huge or massive or large, and other things that seem huge, massive, large, big are actually small. There's this scale that is being highlighted by your sudden brightness. So there seems to be topsy-turvy energies here, where things that seem to matter the most don't matter at all, and things that don't matter at all seem to matter the most. Maybe you yourself care about things that people don't usually. But your perspective, you being a supporter or you being a stickler for these things, makes people consider how important they just might be. Some of you have businesses and you hire employees, and you may be a stickler for someone who is insert whatever quality here, and you will turn down a qualified candidate because they don't fit the bill. Let's say that you look for integrity, and some people don't care about that. As crazy as that may sound, some people don't care about integrity if the job is getting done. But you yourself focus on integrity, which has other people looking at it as what it might have once been as mousy or insignificant to them is now massive, huge, and all telling as well. There's also a heavy energy coming through here about groundwork and evidence and building. It's easy to believe what you say when the foundation looks like that, when the result looks like that, when the person looks like that, when the business looks like that. It's telling. So people trust you and look up to you. And I see that this could last for ages upon ages for those that resonates with. You are also living, breathing proof that something is possible and something is valuable. And that is compassion, love, caring, kindness, and grace for yourself and others, paired with discipline, realism, responsibility, practicality, maturity, self-control, ambition, discipline, structure. You can be both. You can be deeply intuitive and wildly grounded. Because it's not larger than life. You yourself are life. And that is why people see you suddenly shining so bright. Group number 2. You have exquisite taste as well in regards to the things that you value, wear, taste, and your traditions that you hold. It's very clear and very evident that you were either, as I say, raised well or molded, created well. Or as biblically speaking, they would say you are wonderfully made. in all that you are, in all that you choose to be. There's a great intensity in that. I do also want to emphasize well dressed is something that has you shining super bright as well too. This just adds to your levels, your depth, and everything else about you. Thank you so much for being here, group number 2. If you're interested in finding out why do people give you your way, why do they provide for you, why do they spoil you, join us over on Patreon. That'll be linked down below in the description box. If you're interested in booking a personal reading, first link in the description box down below. Head on over to my website to make that happen. Patreon is the second link in the description box, so you can get content that you won't get here on the main channel. Hence that pick a card that I just mentioned, as we do a new pick a card every single week. And if you're interested in donating to the channel, there is a P.O. box as well as a virtual tip jar in the description box down below as well. To support the channel for free skis, give this video a thumbs up, leave love in the comment section down below, share this video with a friend, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to be notified whenever I pull up with new content just like this. And I will talk to you next time. Group number 3, let's find out why people see you suddenly shining brighter. Group number 3. What's got you suddenly shining brighter to people? Number 1, you seem to be smiling more. Having a good time more. Something about chewing on ice is relevant. People analyze you, your little details, your mannerisms. People want to walk like you, talk like you, do things like you. People feel like you will suddenly lead them to great victory if they pay attention. So people feel like you are someone to learn from through observation. You are someone who should be respected, honored in that way. These are people that feel like they paid you no mind, but are now suddenly seeing that they should, that they could. The value of you, group number 3. What's also got you suddenly seeming to shine brighter are full circle moments where what you said proved to be true, or where all roads, all paths still seem to lead back to you. I'm picking up on this energy of people wishing that they had said this or done that, or that they could say this or could say that. There's something here about lots of missed opportunities. So, group number 3, you are suddenly shining brighter to people because you've somehow moved on without them, or they feel like you left them behind. I keep getting this energy too of like, I talked about chewing on ice, but it's like the value of your words or the value of your teeth or your bones or your bite or your grit. People are reminiscing, wondering what you had once said about something as it pops up, as it comes up in the current, in the present. They're thinking about what you said or how you said it. Now, for people that aren't necessarily part of your past, these are people that feel like you and them are off limits, or there's a possibility, but we would have to choose to go that way or to take that path or to go in that direction. It would require effort, time, energy. And so you're on a lot of people's minds when it comes to what ifs. People that are wondering what things would be like with you because they've never experienced you, and people wondering what it would be like to have you in the present as they had in the past. But you're on the minds of a lot of people. And I want to say lingering on the minds, but not lingering as in like there's not much left of you. No, lingering as in it's hard to not find anything that relates to you. Did I say that right? No, I don't know. They find it difficult to completely forget about you or to stop reminiscing or to stop fantasizing. There's always something there that reminds them of you. Your energy is always lingering in some way. And there's a sense of frustration with that, but also acceptance. This feels like, again, people that either have lost access to you and they have to accept that, they do accept that, they understand that, or people that would like access to you, but understand why they can't or why they shouldn't. Excuse me. I'm going to take that as a confirmation burpee. That's the first one we've had all reading. But you are absolutely on the minds of many because of the presented value of you. People would love to have, hold, possess, get to know, befriend, love on, hate on. They would love to interact with, to be a part of, no matter the role. They're willing to play the part. Now, I'm also picking up on another energy that's about people that are able to and are willing to invest in you because of the value that they see. And so they follow through. But again, you're on the minds of many, and this is why you are suddenly shining so brightly, because being on the minds of many it's manifested an energetic ball for you. So you may have also noticed yourself experiencing a new energy or just experiencing what feels like a new vibration, a new experience, a new timeline. And that's because of the simple power of thoughts. The thoughts that people have of you are creating magic and meeting you with your purpose, your destiny. So definitely let me know for this group here, what sort of changes and transformations are you currently undergoing? Because it's definitely able to be attributed to, of course, your hard work, effort, and energy to get there. But Also, the path of people that it takes to create or manifest this sort of breakthrough or opening or alignment for you. This is someone who maybe, let's put it simply, someone who has no idea what it's like to be an artist, but they decide to paint, and so they begin painting. They paint everywhere they go. Everything that they do becomes paint, and so they become known as a painter. And fast forward, as people learn to accept them as a painter, people are talking about them to other people about this painter that they know. This is a painter. And so now, fast forward even more, this person is now supplied and provided for because they are a painter. I hope that I was able to put that in terms that you could understand, but basically, you don't just wake up and be a painter. You have to develop the image, the ideology of the painter by painting and letting people know that you paint. And that creates the idea in their head that you are a painter, thus creating the reality that you are a painter. This is why you are suddenly shining brighter to people, because you are becoming, and you already are, who they think you are at your highest, at your peak, at your potential. It's people projecting really valuable and positive energies onto you, or expectations onto you. Even the energy that's coming from a shadowy space or like hatred, it's still because they're projecting such success onto you that leads them to feel jealous or envious or incapable of achieving this on their own, thus creating the shadow effect. But either way, this is what's got you shining so brightly, what seems like all of a sudden, because the highest peak idea of you is manifesting right before people's eyes, and they are helping you to manifest it as well with their thoughts. You and them, you and the world, you and the universe are on the same page. Libra scales, you've balanced them to easily communicate who you are, what you stand for, thus painting your world as you want it to be. Thank you so much for being here. This is what's got you suddenly shining so bright. Kudos to you for doing the work. Leave love in the comment section down below to support this channel for free skis. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with a friend. Hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to be notified when I pull up with new content just like this. I thank you for being here. And if you're interested in finding out why people give you your way, why they spoil you, why they want to provide for you, check us out over on Patreon. That'll be linked in the description box down below. And the very first link in the description box is for booking personal readings if you're interested in doing that. Second link is Patreon, content that you won't get here on the main channel, like that pick a card that I just mentioned. That is every single week, plus other bonus content over there you don't want to miss. Okay. And last but not least, if you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a P.O. box and a virtual tip jar in the description box down below. I thank you in advance, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.